So I traveled Europe for last year and I went to 32 different countries. And some of those countries, people were really nice to me. And in some of those countries, people were really rude to me. So today I'm going to talk about the four countries where people were the nicest to me. First place I'm going to talk about is Estonia. When I was there, I accidentally got a parking ticket for parking somewhere I couldn't, and I had to find another place to park my car. So I go around to the city in the middle of the night, like 9 p.m., 10 p.m., something like that, and I find a place to park my car. But as I'm getting in, I tell the guy that I'm staying for the night, and he's like, "No, no, you shouldn't stay here. It's too expensive." And he gives me an address to another parking lot, like 5 or 10 minutes away, where he said it would be cheaper, and it was. It was like half the price, and that's something I couldn't imagine happening in most other countries. But this guy was so polite. He was so nice to me. I was actually quite surprised, and so I did go to that parking lot. And when I get there, there's a machine for you to pay, and it depends on an app that's local and you can't really download it, and it's all in Estonian. So I was not prepared for that. I didn't know what I was doing. And so this woman, and remember that's at 10 p.m. at night, this woman just passes by. She sees I'm struggling, and she actually comes to help me, and she does pretty much all the work for me, and I just have to pay with the card. So it was truly, truly amazing that within the span of an hour, two total strangers helped me in a way that I wouldn't have been helped in most other countries. The next country I'm going to talk about is Bosnia. So, Bosnia is more typically one of the lower income countries in Europe. And I think from a lower income country, which is also less touristy, you're naturally going to expect people to be a little bit nicer because I think that's in the culture. Lower income countries really do have more of a warm culture in general. And also, if a country is less touristy, they're less annoyed about tourists. So, they tend to treat you a little bit better as well. But I wasn't expecting them to treat me as nicely. My phone had been broken in and off, more or less, for about 2 months, and that was an issue I didn't know how to fix. And so, when I got to Sarajevo, it had been getting worse. So I decided to take it to a phone shop, and the guy literally fixed it in 15 minutes and refused to charge me. I didn't have local currency, so I couldn't literally give it to him. I offered euros, and he didn't accept, and I offered a car payment, and he also said no. So first off, as soon as I got to Sarajevo, it was a very, very nice experience. And then the next day, when I go off into the market, again, I still didn't have local currency. And I tried to buy bread at a bakery, and I didn't have coins or bills or anything. So again, I offered to pay with a card, and the woman didn't accept card. So instead of being like, "Oh, you can come back and I'll give you the bread," she literally shoved the bread on me without everything else that I had ordered, and she just said, "Oh, you can come back anytime, and you can give me the money." In a very broken English, by the way. And I thought it was amazing because remember, I'm in a capital city. I'm like in the middle, in the center, in the city center of a capital city. Could you imagine that happening in, I don't know, New York or London or Barcelona or Paris? So it was truly amazing that they were so trusting. And obviously, as soon as I got off, I finally found a place to an ATM to actually get some cash, and then I immediately went there and paid her. But it was truly amazing. Just after that, I went to I don't know if it was a flea market. No, there was also a food there. And I was just buying some fruits and that kind of stuff. And a guy saw that I was a little bit messed up with the bags. And he literally stopped me for I wasn't even buying anything from him, but he literally stopped, grabbed the things from me, rearranged them in a much better way, gave me an extra bag, and then gave it back to me so that I would be like a little bit more comfortable, like holding my bags. And I did have a couple more nice experiences in the city, but just in general, the people, the waiters, the vibes, they were just so lovely. And it's truly a town that got marked in me as probably the single nicest overall experience that I had in Europe. The third country I'm going to talk about, and this one might be a little bit unexpected for you guys, is Switzerland. People say that Switzerland is very cold, that it's very reserved, and it's partially true, but it's not the personal experience that I had in Switzerland. First, I went to the French part, and I was going to spend Christmas there with some family. So I went to buy gifts, and I tried to use my broken French there. And contrary to France, where they were mostly very rude when I tried to speak French, the Swiss, they were perfectly lovely. I managed to use French 100%, and they were very kind. They wished me like happy holidays or something like that, in a very warm and welcome sense, which was very lovely to me. And then I went to the German part, and I was to meet some friends that I had made in Canada in about 2018. So that was 5 years earlier. And those friends were both Swiss. And well, they weren't that close, but when I got there, they received me like with open arms. They had a little car that they drove me around. They showed me everything. They bought me Swiss chocolate as soon as I got there. And yeah, they just gave me such a warm welcome to the city. It was in Lucerne, and that's not something you expect from the Swiss, but it was definitely one of the warmest welcomes that I've had. The last country I'm going to talk about is the UK. It's always close to my heart because I lived there when I was a kid, and then I hadn't been there for like 12 years when I got there this year, just in April. So it was very exciting to go. And as soon as I get in, I realized that I have nothing prepared for the immigration. Like, I know they ask sometimes for like hotel reservations or plan or telling them where you're going to go. And I honestly didn't even know. And I had absolutely nothing booked. But then I get to the border officer and he tells me, "Oh, where are you going?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I was thinking of maybe going north to Scotland." And it so happens that the border official was from Scotland. And he literally stops everything and starts talking to me about how, yeah, I should, if I know how to drive, then I should rent a car and go up because driving up to Scotland in the Highlands is absolutely amazing. And he tells me about Scotland, asks me no further questions, looks at me and says, "No matter what you do, be safe." And that was like my first experience in the UK after like 12 years of being gone. And that was just, it was so nice. It was so amazing. Then, just overall, when I was in the UK in general, in Edinburgh, in Liverpool, in Lancaster, in Wales, in Glasgow, and then in Northern Ireland, in Belfast, everyone was nice to me. Sure, some of them were not absolutely warm, but you could count them on asking how your day has been and on commenting about the weather or something like that, which is not something I could say about most other countries. So, despite also the UK being seen as a very posh culture or something like that, that's not what I felt at all. And I will add this: the people from the UK that I met outside, that is in other places in Europe, were probably one of the nicest people that I met as well. Some of them might have been assholes, but they still acted really nice. They were still really polite and they were very kind to you, even if maybe it was in a shallow way where they thought differently from what they acted. But honestly, if they're acting nice, that's half the problem right there.